Ghost. You are aware that, if he did not give up the ghost, he would not have been taken to the sepulchre. If he did not die, the soldier would have broken his legs. If he did not die, he would not have resurrected on the third day. He has told us, unless a grain of corn falls to the ground and dies, it remains alone, but when it dies, it brings forth much fruit. John chapter 12 verse 24. It should have been a great surprise for our Creator to die and remain in the grave forever. On the third day God caused him to resurrect. If you were to believe in him, would you not also believe there is no death for you? For this reason, he died and now lives, that all those who believe in him should not perish but have everlasting life. John chapter 3 verse 16. Our first lesson will now be read. First Bible lesson, Matthew chapter 27 verses 24 to 26. When Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing, but that rather a tumult was made, he took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person, see ye to it. Then answered all the people, and said, His blood be on us, and on our children. Then released he Barabbas unto them, and when he had scourged Jesus, he delivered him to be crucified. Do not forget the Jews' feast of the Passover was coming up. Is it on Thursday the Passover was kept? I have already told you, they had agreed, he should not be arrested on the feast day, so there may not be a tumult. That was why they arrested him at 3 a.m. on Thursday. At 6 a.m. on that Thursday, he was condemned. At 9 a.m. on Thursday, he was crucified. If the event took place on the Sabbath, was Friday the Sabbath day? We are feeding you with this knowledge so the Thomases, who were led astray in their belief, may know we are observing the events as they happened. It explains why we fast from 6 a.m. of Thursday to 6 p.m. of Thursday to commemorate his death. Since he had mentioned 3 days and 3 nights, Pilate condemned him at 6 a.m. on Thursday, and from that time, he was regarded as a dead man. At 9 a.m. Thursday, he was crucified. At 12 noon Thursday, he was still on the cross. At 3 p.m. Thursday, he committed his spirit into the Father's hands and fainted. At exactly 6 p.m. Thursday, Joseph took down his body and took it to the grave. That is why we always commemorate the crucifixion every Thursday by fasting from 6 a.m. of Thursday to 6 p.m. of Thursday. We hold the Bible class every Wednesday. After the Bible class we conduct watch and pray until 3 a.m. of Thursday, when he was arrested, after which we eat the Last Supper and at that time we can disperse. What was done to the Israelites will be done to the Gentiles. This is the time of the Gentiles, and what was done to the Israelites must also be done to them. It is not surprising Isaac had 2 children, and when Rebekah did not yet conceive, the word of prophecy came that the elder shall serve the younger. Genesis chapter 25 verse 23. Rebekah conceived 2 nations in her womb. Since it was written the elder should serve the younger, that is why it is said, it is not of him who wills, nor of him who runs the race, but of God who shows mercy. Romans chapter 9 verse 16. That is why I tell you, you should not make any comment over what you see, because everything is wrought by the fingers of God. People argue, Jacob used tricks to usurp the position of Esau. That is not true. If you are hated, it is an act of God. It is also an act of God, if someone loves you. When the children had done neither good nor evil, and were not yet born, it was written that the elder shall serve the younger. Jacob I loved but Esau I hated. Romans chapter 9 verse 13. This is so the will of God may be fulfilled. Esau did not know why he struggled to come out first of his mother's womb. You can't see how the blacks push and force their way in anything they want to do. But the whites are calm and calculating in their ways. This is attributable to one's nature. You cannot depart from the nature God has given to you. Since it was written the elder shall serve the younger, Genesis chapter 25 verse 23. That was why things occurred the way they did. Since God is impartial and omnipotent, Jacob received the blessing. Isaac became blind in order that the will of God may be fulfilled. When it was time for the blessing, everybody knew Esau was the firstborn, and that he should inherit the blessing. He was hardworking and obedient to his father. The mother loved Jacob. Jacob was like a daughter to her, and he served her. But the father loved Esau, because he was his firstborn, and he also ministered to him in the house. If Isaac had his sight, nothing would have induced him to bless Jacob. God caused Isaac to be blind and he blessed Jacob, in order that the will of God may be made manifest. It will not be surprising if Esau assumes his rightful place today. He had for long accomplished his work, and he is entitled to his reward. Esau has no problems. Whatever you have belongs to you. Do not be surprised if you do not find many whites in this kingdom. No one is responsible. It is the Father doing his work. If you preach to the whites, and they listen to you with rapt attention, it is not done by you, neither are they responsible. It is what has been written down. Esau is the firstborn. Do not compel any white man to come here. Allow him to his own will, because before the foundations of the world were laid, God had already arranged everything in its ship-shape order. As you have already been told, you have to clear the bush, and he will set fire to it. God does not cheat anyone. What you sow is what you reap. Galatians chapter 6 verse 7. And whatever God plants has to stand. After blessing Jacob, Esau later appeared, and Isaac told him there was no other blessing. Esau was the rightful owner of the position. But because of the prediction the elder shall serve the younger, that vision had to be allowed to fulfill itself. After its fulfillment, it was put aside. As you have been told, visions will pass away. After each vision has been fulfilled, it has to pass away for what was instituted from the beginning to be made manifest. The whites know the black man is the firstborn. They have no doubts over this, as you do. You complain, you have neither money nor wisdom. Is this a matter of money? What wisdom did Jacob possess? Did any work qualify him for the blessings? It was Esau who labored, while Jacob ate gratis. That is exactly the situation now. Ethiopia shall rise. If somebody had told you, in this world, a black man will pick up the Bible, travel to the white man's country, and preach to him, nobody would have believed. Today, they are looking for you. When you go there, they ask for your permission to touch your garment. They are weeping and searching for you. They are not responsible, neither are you responsible. They are the fingers of God, as this is the appointed time. Whenever the time appointed for a particular thing is ripe, it must be manifested. You can't see, man can of himself do nothing. In the end Isaac prayed, God should remember Esau. Isaac said to Esau, by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Genesis chapter 27 verse 40. Right now Esau has broken Jacob's yoke from his neck. This is why all the blacks should shout out for joy. It is not a question of he has healed my sickness or given me money. This is the glory of God, which has come to Africa and to the entire world. This is the fullness of time, and you will notice the joy all over the world. Peace will flow and abound, because the black man has a different lifestyle. Whoever argues God does not love the blacks should pray for himself, because he has not read the scriptures. Abraham begot Isaac. Isaac begot Esau and Jacob. Rebekah gave birth to twins, who represented the blacks and the whites. If everything had worked according to our expectations, the whole world would have been one. If the first had taken his position, there would be no problem in this world. The saying, the first shall be last and the last shall be first, and also he who laughs last laughs best, has been fulfilled with the blacks. The Father has given us the boldness to do this work. He has strengthened us. He is the one who does everything. We have to go to the white man's land and to every part of the world and preach the good news of this kingdom. The Father is before and behind us. This is the work that lies before us. The ability does not reside with man. Whether you like it or not, you will find yourself where you least expected, and you will work until every person sees and believes. There will be no division between the Jews and the Greeks. There will be no wars, quarreling or problems again. Let the second lesson be read so you may realize Christ died for the whole world in order that there may be no division. He had accomplished everything when he said, "It is finished." John chapter 19 verse 30. He has rearranged everything in the world. His garment was divided according to the four corners of the world, and so everything has been brought together. Second Bible lesson, Mark chapter 15 verses 24 and 25. And when they had crucified him, they parted his garments, casting lots upon them, what every man should take. And it was the third hour, and they crucified him. If the situation was not the fulfillment of prophecy, have you guns, or money, or wisdom to have attained a republican status of your own? That is what the death of